Welcome back to Your Crafty Place. Today we are going to work on a card using the Paper Studios The Basics. It's an older one because it's $5.99, but I did get it from Hobby Lobby, and I'm using the orange one is the one that we are going to work on today. I have made some other cards with the other colors. I'll show you those in just a second so you can see what we're going to be doing. This would be a card set with each of them. I did not make the black one, but the other sets, the other colors that are in here, I have made cards for. So we are making cards like this today. They will have different sentiments on them, but they are all made with the same papers, just in different colors. So today we are going to work on the orange one. And I've kind of done them pretty much all the same way. The background card on all of them, or the background on all of them, is the white with the polka dots. So we're going to start with that one. And we are going to make it 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's just shy of the 4 1/4 and just shy of the 5 1/2. So it's almost the full card base. We're not layering these on any other kind of cardstock or anything. We're just going to lay these. This is a thinner paper, so be careful with the liquid glue that you use because you'll be able to see it through there if it's a heavy duty like an Elmer's glue or something like that. Then this one here, I turn the long way, and on the long way I'm going to cut it by 1.5 inches. And then we're going to fold this one in half later so that we can get this on both sides. So that one is cut. The polka dot one is cut, so I'm going to move those to the side. And then these are all cut the same. So I'm just going to stack them all up together. It depends on if you want the stripes going up or down or left to right, how you cut this. I'm going to cut these at 2.5 this way because I want the stripes going up and down on this one. On most of them I had them going the other way just to conserve some paper. So that's 2.5 by 3 3/4. So all of them are cut the exact same. And then that is all the cutting that we'll need, unless you need to cut a card base. If you need to cut a card base, go ahead and do that now. We're going to start doing this one that is 3/4 of an inch wide by the, 5? By 4.5. So this is 4.5, and this is 1.5 inches. You don't need 4.5. In the end, we're going to cut this down to 2 3/4. So if you have scrap pieces, you can do that. You can get a scoreboard if you have one to fold this. I'm just going to fold it over so that both edges match. And I'm just going to use my bone folder or my fingernail to fold it down. And then you can use glue or a tape runner in here. I'm going to just use glue. I'm just going to glue along all the edges and up and down the center. Make sure it's glued pretty well. And then I'm going to use my bone folder again to get the glue really pressed together. And then I'm just going to set this one aside for now, and we'll come back to this one in just a little bit. So here is our 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. The first piece we're going to use is the stripes. And I glue it. You could also use tape. And then I'm going to put, let's see, probably about 1/4 of an inch around the edges, the two edges here. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can go less, you can go more. And I'm just eyeballing it. I'm sure it's not completely straight. I'm okay with that. Doesn't matter which one you do next. I'm gonna do the plaid, I think, here next, or the checkered, or whatever you wanna call it, gingham, whatever. This one will go about halfway down or halfway up, depending on which way you're looking here on the sheet we just cut or just put down. And then we're trying to get about the same amount on the left and the right. Again, doesn't need to be perfect, just eyeballing it. With all the other stuff we put on here, you're really probably not gonna notice. And then the last piece that we're putting on here for now is the other polka dotted. And this one, we're going to do about the same amount that we did up here, down here in the corner. It might need to be a little bit more for you to be able to get a little bit of this on the outside, the centerpiece there, if you want it. If you don't want it, you don't have to. It's all personal preference. You're just trying to get those 3 pieces of paper down on here. I'm gonna spread that down. Now I have this orange and white twine that I'm going to use. In this case, I am going to use some tape here. This is just some double-sided tape. It doesn't have to be heavy duty because we are going to glue everything down. This just helps me keep the twine in place while we're wrapping it here. So I'm just going to do that on the back, just a little tiny piece. And then I'm going to wrap this around so that I have 3 layers in the front. Don't fold too tight, especially if you're using just paper, because you will rip the paper. And then I'm just going to cut. I'm not taping it down just yet because I want to come back over here and make sure that I'm getting this lined up. And I think I put this over just a little too far, so I'm going to go that way. There we go. Alright, so now there's that one. You can put this wherever you want. Some of them I have further to the right. Some of them I have further to the left. Kind of depends on how much room you need for your sentiment. If you have really small sentiments, then you can put it closer to the right hand side, or you can center it more. But if your sentiments are large and you need more space on your right hand side, then move them further to the left. Just try to get them straight up and down if possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing about handmade cards have to be perfect. And then I'm going to get another piece of tape here and just tape it to the back. Just like that. So now we kind of have these 3 here on the front. And then I cut another little piece just big enough to get underneath all 3. And then I'm just going to pull it around and tie a knot. Just one knot. I just want the twine to be close together. And I'm just going to pull. You can slide it up and down wherever you need it. We're going to glue over it later. We're going to put a little flower on it later. And I'm going to trim as close to it as I can there. Alright, so now we're back to this piece. This piece, again, we only want it to be, at this point it's about 3/4 of an inch wide because we folded the 1.5 inches over. And now I want to cut this down to 2 3/4. If you had a 2 3/4 inch piece, you wouldn't have to trim that down. Then I'm going to flag both sides. The first one I did, I folded it over and did the flag, and then I decided I didn't want them to be the exact same, so I didn't want to be the flags to meet up in the exact same spot, so I flagged one side and then I flagged the other. So that's the way I've been doing it now. Go up the center, and then I'm just going to turn and go back down this way. They don't have to be perfect. I know I keep saying that, but they really don't. Nobody's going to get out a ruler and measure how you have them, and if they do, they don't need a handmade card. They probably don't need a card from me at all. And then just going to fold this over wherever you want. You can fold it so the bottom has more, the top has more. It doesn't have a specific amount that you have to have. And then I'm taking it underneath one of the pieces of twine, and I'm going to grab my glue. You could do tape here as well, but the glue is easier for me, and I'm just going to put some glue all over the back of this one. And then I'm going to just kind of set it down, trying not to pull on my twine there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the top. I'm going to glue and then just push it down. Kind of just where it lands, is where it lands. The fold just helps it fold around that twine a little better. And then I have this little flower here. It came in a variety pack from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to glue it over the knot that we made. If you had a glue dot, you could do that. Eventually this glue does dry with that flower on there, so you just have to be patient. And then I have just a variety of sentiments over here to my side that I'm going to use. Let's see. I've got this one that says, I'm happy to celebrate these moments with you. If I would have moved that twine over any further, that wouldn't fit there. But that one would fit there. This one here that says, be strong, be brave, you've got this, will fit there. There's also wishing you a year of magical moments and wonderful memories would fit there. I think I have that one on a card already. I don't know that I have this one on there. Yeah, I don't have this one on there, so I think I'm going to put this one on there. The be strong, be brave, you've got this. These are all out of the stamp and die set. The die set, it's from Amazon, but the die set does not match up with the stamps. You think it would, but the die set is actually backwards. So I personally would not recommend this set, but I will provide the information if you guys are interested. I'll show it when we're done here. And then I'm going to use the glue to glue this one down, trying to be mindful of that flower because that flower is not completely glued on there. You can take the paper off the tape if you want. I'm not going to. I'm just going to glue right over the top of it because if it's not going to come off because I've got so much glue. Put a little glue underneath there to hold it on because that's the one I picked up a little bit. And then I'm going to turn my card upside down, make sure I'm going the right way here. I'm not upside down, I'm turning it to the side. And it's just a little tiny edge that's all the way around. And then I'm going to use my bone folder here to push it down. Since that twine has a little bit of bulk to it, using my bone folder to push it down just helps me to get it as close to the card as I can and to keep that twine from causing there to be a lot of extra space between my card base and my card. There is that one. If you guys enjoyed it, guys get out there and craft something. Bye.